हेलो एवरीवन वेलकम टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल। आज आम डिस्कसन करवा इंडियन पॉलिटी एंड गवर्नेंस। चलतु डिस्कसन करवा द कंपनी रूल 1773 टू 1857 पर्यंत। हु इज द फादर ऑफ पॉलिटिकल साइंस? Aristotle. Next, East India Company had regulatory and controlling power in India under Regulating Act 1773. Who became the first governor in 1772 and first Governor General in 1773 of Bengal? Warren Hastings. The Supreme Court of India was set up by the Regulating Act 1773 at Kolkata, according to which act salary for the staff and member of the Board of Control were to be paid from Indian revenue. The Charter Act 1793. Next, the monopoly of Indian trade of East India Company was abolished by Charter Act 1813, through which commercial activities of East India Company finally put to an end. Charter Act 1833, under which act the Governor General of Bengal was to be the Governor General of India. Charter Act 1833. Who is the first Governor General of India? Lord William Bentinck. In which act a separate Governor of Bengal was to be appointed? The Charter Act 1853. Next, in which act recruitment of the company employees was to be done through competitive exam including Indians? Charter Act 1853. Next, the Crown Rules 1857 to 1947. In which act the power of transfer from the company to the British Crown? Government of India Act 1858. In which act the Governor General was made the Viceroy of India? Government of India Act 1858. Next, in which act the Governor General was made the Viceroy of India? Government of India Act 1858. Who is the first Viceroy of India? Lord Canning. Which act the Executive Council was now to be called the Central Legislative Council? Indian Council Act 1861. Next, who introduced a portfolio system? Lord Canning. The Parliamentary Reforms Report formed in the basis of Indian Council Act 1909. Which act separated representation of Muslim community? Indian Council Act 1909. The Muslim League as a political party was founded in 1906. Who is the first Indian to join the Viceroy Executive Council? Satyendra Nath Sinha. Next, Montego-Chelmsford Report formed the basis of Government of India Act 1919. The Indian legislature was made bicameral for the first time. Government of India Act 1990. Which act diarchy system was first introduced in provisions? The Government of India Act 1990. In which act diarchy system was abolished in the provinces but it was introduced at federal level? The Government of India Act 1935. In which act aimed to providing a federal structure for India? The Government of India Act 1935. The Government of India Act 1935 vested the residuary power in the Governor General. Next, Which act was described by Jawaharlal Nehru as Charter of Slavery? The Government of India Act 1935. Crip mission visit India in March 1942 headed by Sir Stafford Cripps. The distribution of power between center and state in the Indian Constitution is based on the scheme provided in the Government of India Act 1935, in which act ended the British rule in India and declared India as a independent Indian, the Indian Independence Act 1947. Constitution of India. Making of the Constitution of India. Who is the father of Indian Constitution? B.R. Ambedkar. The idea of Constitution for India was given by M.N. Roy. The Constituent Assembly was set up under the recommendation of Cabinet Mission Plan. When the Cabinet Mission Plan proposed a Constituent Assembly for India, May 16, 1946. Next. The first meeting of Constituent Assembly was held in New Delhi on 9 December 1946. The total number of members in the Constituent Assembly was 389 members. How many members elect from the provisions seats? 93 members. Out of 296 members, how many members elected from provisions legislature? 292 members. Next. How many members in the Constituent Assembly are to represent Chief Commissioner provisions? 4 members. Next. As the result of the separated Constituent Assembly for Pakistan, the number of assembly was reduced to 299 members. In the time taken by Constituent Assembly to prepare Constitution is 2 years, 11th month, 18 days. Who was the first and last Governor General of Free India? C. Rajagopalachari. The members of the Constituent Assembly were elected by Provincial Assembly. Next, the Cabinet Mission to India was headed by Lord Patrick Lawrence. Who was the first Foreign Minister of Free India? Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Who was the chairman of Union Power Committee of Constituent Assembly of India? Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Who was the first president of the Constituent Assembly? Dr. Sachidanand Sinha. Who was the first elected president of the Constituent Assembly? Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Who among the constitutional advisors to the Constituent Assembly of India? B.N. Rao. Constitution of India was adopted on 26 November 1949. The Constitution of India was completed on 26 November 1949. When was the National Law Day or Constitutional Day is celebrated in India? 26 November. Indian Constitution recognizes minority on the basis of population. The Constituent Assembly set up the drafting committee under the chairpersonship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar on 29 August 1947. The total number of members in the drafting committee of Indian Constitution, including the chairman, was 7. Next. The Constitution of India came into force on January 26, 1950. India became the sovereign democratic republic on 26 January 1950. Next, borrow feature of the Constitution. The Indian Constitution was borrowed the idea of parliamentary from government, rule of law, office of the CAG, single citizen from the British Constitution. Next, the Indian Constitution has borrowed the idea of directive principle of state policy, method of election of the parliament, nomination of member in Rajya Sabha by the president from the Irish Constitution. The Indian Constitution has borrowed the idea of quasi-federal system, the idea of residual power from the Canadian Constitution. The Indian Constitution has borrowed the idea of federal duty and 5-year planning from the USSR Constitution. Next. The Indian Constitution has borrowed the idea of concurrent list provisions regarding trade, commerce, and intercourse language of the preambles from the Australian Constitution. The Indian Constitution has borrowed the idea of suspension of fundamental rights during emergency planning from the German Constitution. The Indian Constitution has borrowed the idea of preamble, fundamental rights, a written constitution, judicial review, and independence of judiciary from the United States Constitution. Next, preamble to the Constitution. The objective resolution proposed by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. The objective resolution passed by the Constituent Assembly. How many times has the Indian preamble has been amended? Once, 18 December 1976. Who proposed the preamble before the drafting committee of Constitution? Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. The preamble of our Constitution contains the idea of the Constitution. The idea of justice, social, economic, and political have been taken from Russian Revolution 1970. The idea of liberty, equality, fraternity have been taken from the French Revolution 1789 to 1799, 89 to 99. Which Amendment Act introduced change in the preamble to Indian Constitution? 42nd Amendment Act 1976. The three words that were inserted by the 42nd Amendment to the preamble of the Constitution are socialist, secular, and integrity. The preamble of our Constitution reads India is sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, and republic. What does the word sovereign mean? Free to follow internal and external policy. What does word socialist means? No concentration of power and money. Next. What does the word secular means? No particular religion. What does the word democratic mean? Granting equal voting rights to every citizen of the nation. What does the word republicans means? No rooms for hereditary rules of monarch. Next. Key feature of the Constitution. The largest democracy world is India. The Constitution of India is partly flexible and partly rigid. India is a parliamentary system of government both at the center and state. The Indian Constitution regarded as federal in form and unitary in spirit. Next, which constitution was lengthiest written constitution? World largest माने lengthiest constitution है the Indian Constitution. The Constitution of India is an elaborate document because it is a written constitution. The first general election in India were held in 1951-52. When and where was the first EVN electronic voting machine used? 1982, Kerala. How many articles, parts, schedules, appendix, and amendments are there in Indian Constitution? 465 articles, 25 parts, 12 schedule, 5 appendix and 101 amendments ହେଇଥିଲା ଆଗରୁ amendmentଟା ଏବେ ବଢ଼ି ଯାଇଛି ଆଉ ଆର୍ଟିକଲ ମଧ୍ୟ ବଢ଼ି ଯାଇଛି. ନେକ୍ସଟ, the first schedule of Indian Constitution deals with state and union territories. The second schedule of the Indian Constitution deals with salary and emolument. The third schedule of Indian Constitution deals with oath and affirmation, minister and judges. Next, fourth schedule of Indian constitution deals with allocation of seat in the Rajya Sabha. Next, which schedule contains the provision related in the administration and control of scheduled area and scheduled tribes? Fifth schedule. The seventh schedule of Indian Constitution deals with distribution power between union and state government. The eighth schedule of the Indian Constitution deals with language. Next, tenth schedule of the Indian Constitution deals with anti-defection law. Next, 11th schedule of Indian Constitution deals with Panchayat. 12th schedule of Indian Constitution deals with municipality. Next, the Anti-Defection Act that provide for a disqualification of member from parliament and assembly in case of defection from one party to another was passed in 1985. Next, the Union and its territory. Articles 1 to 4 under Part 1 of the Constitution deals with the Union and its territory. The total number of state and Union territory of India है 8 state and 8 Union territory. The Union territory get representation in both House of Parliament. Next, the Constitution names our country as India, that is Bharat. Article 1. In which articles a new state will be established? Article 2. Next, in which articles separation of one state into two or more states increase or decrease of area after the boundary and the name of any state? Article 3. To create a new state and alter boundary of existing state can be reformed by the president. The power to carved out a new state is vested in the parliament. Next, in which commission was appointed by the Constituent Assembly on the issue of recognition of state in November 1947? S.K. Dhar Committee. Which committee was appointed by the Congress in its Jaipur session 1948 to consider the recognition of the Dhar Commission? JPV Committee. How many members appoint JPV Committee? 3. Jawaharlal Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel, Pattabhi Sitaramaiah. The government of India forced to create the first linguistic state is Andhra Pradesh, October 1953. Next, the state of Kerala formed in 1956. State of Goa formed in 1987. Which year Manipur, Tripura, Meghalaya state formed? 1971. सिक्किम केवे स्टेट है 1975. छत्तीसगढ़, उत्तर प्रदेश, झारखंड फॉर्म इन 2000. तेलंगाना फॉर्म इन 2nd June 2014. Sikkim was made integral part of Indian under 36th Amendment. Citizenship. Citizenship provisions were enshrined in Indian Constitution in Part 2 and Article 5 to 11. What type of citizenship Constitution has established for the whole of India? Single and uniform citizenship. In how many ways do Citizen Act 1955 provides for the acquisition of Indian citizenship after the commencement of Indian Constitution? 5 ways. By birth, by descent, registration, naturalization and incorporation of territory. Next, the minimum duration to stay in India before applying for Indian citizenship 5 years. Minimum age of the voter in India is 18 years. The provisions of providing identity card to voters has been made in the Representation of the People Act 1958. The brand name of 16-digit unique identification number to be assigned to each individual in the country is Aadhaar. Aadhaar is program a provide identity to Indian resident. What is the meaning of domicile according to Indian Constitution? Permanent home. Which country accepted the policy of dual citizenship? USA. Indian Constitution recognize minority on the basis of religion. Next. Fundamental rights. The fundamental rights have been described in Part 3, Articles 12 to 35. How many fundamental rights in Indian Constitution? 6 fundamental rights. Right to equality, 14 to 18 article. Right to freedom, 19 to 22 article. Right to against exploitation, articles 23 24. Right to freedom religion, 25 to 28 article. Right to cultural and educational right है article 29 to 30. Right to constitutional remedies 32 to 35. Next, right to property was removed from the list of fundamental rights by which Act 44th Amendment Act 1978. The right to property is a legal right. Which is the guardian of fundamental rights? The judiciary. The right to equality is guaranteed to the citizen of India under Article 14. Next, the articles of Indian Constitution related to abolition of untouchability is Article 17. Which article of Constitution of India is related to abolition of title? Article 80. Which article of Constitution of India is related to the protection of certain rights regarding freedom of speech? Article 19. Next, which articles of Constitution of India related to protection and respect of convict of offenders? Article 20. Which article deals with the right to elementary education age 6 to 14 years? Article 21A. Which article known as necessary evils? Article 22. Which article's constitution is related to provisions of traffic of inhuman beings and forced labor? Article 23. Which what is the minimum permissible age for employment in any factory or mines? 14 years. Which article has banned employment of children below the age of 14 in hazardous industry and factories? Article 24. Which articles is termed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has heart and soul of Constitution? Article 32. Which was described Dr. B.R. Ambedkar the heart and soul of Constitution? Right to constitutional remedies. Next. DPSP Directive Principle and Fundamental Duty. Directive Principle and Fundamental Duties. Part IV Constitution of India deals with DPSP Directive Principle of State Policy, Article 36 to 51, and Fundamental Duties of Indian Citizen है Article 51A. Which part of Indian Constitution refers to responsibility of state towards internal peace and security? Directive Principle State Policy DPS. The guardian of principle have been enumerated in the Directive Principle. Next, in which amendment fundamental duties of Indian citizen added by 42nd Amendment 1976? On which committee recommendation was fundamental duties inserted in Constitution? Soran Singh Committee. Next, how many fundamental duties in Indian Constitution? 11. Next, the President of India. Part B of Indian Constitution deals with government at the union level, Article 52 to 151. The Union Executive of India consists of President, Vice President, Council Minister only. Which articles of Indian Constitution provide for a President of the country? 52. Who is the executive head of Indian state? The President. Who is the head of the Indian Union? President. Who is the nominal executive authority? De jure executive. The president. Who is the first citizen of India? President. Who is the second citizen of India? Vice president. Which is the highest constitutional office in India? Office of the president. Where is the official residence of the President of India? Rashtrapati Bhavan. Rashtrapati Bhavan was designed by Edwin and Edwin Edwins and Lyttons. Where is the Raisina Hills, the official residence of President of India? What is the minimum age required to be presidential candidate? 35 years. A person wanting to contest the election to the post of president must be qualified for election as a member of Lok Sabha. Next, which articles in our constitution deals with the process of election of the president? Article 54. Which of method is adopted for the election of the president of India? Indirect method. In India, the president is elected by single transferable vote. The president of India is elected by the electoral college consisting of the elected member of both house of the president, a parliament and state assembly. What security amount deposit for the nomination as the president in RBI? 15,000. Next, the nomination of a candidate for election to be office of the president must be subscribed by at least 50 electors as proposers and 50 electors as seconders. What is the maximum age to contest election of the president? No limit. Maximum no limit. How many times president of India can seek re-election to his post? Any number of times. 5-year terms of president calculated from the day he assumed charge. Next. What is the term of office president of India? 5 years. What is the salary per month of president of India? 5 lakhs rupees per month. The salary of president taken from the consolidated fund of India. Who administer the oath of office to president of India? Chief Justice of India. Who administer the oath of office president in case of Chief Justice absent? Senior most judge of Supreme Court of India. In case of president wishes to resign, by whom give the resignation letter? Vice president. Next, by which process the president can be removed from the office for violation of constitution? Impeachment. Under which article Constitution of India can be President of India impeached? Article 61. How many members are signed for resignation notice to President? At least 1/4 member of House. The President can be impeached with the 2/3 majority of Parliament. The vacancy in the office President caused by the removal or death resignation shall be filled with in a period of 6 months. Next, in case of president death or resignation or removal, who is act as a president? Vice president. Next, in case of both the president and vice president death or resignation or removal, who act as a president? Chief Justice of India. If president die while in office, the vice president can act as a president for maximum time period of 6 months. Next, who was the first president of Free India? Dr. Rajendra Prasad. The first president of independent India hailed from Bihar. What was the first Muslim president of India? Dr. Zakir Hussain. Next, which president of India died while in office? Dr. Zakir Hussain. What was the shortest tenure of president? Dr. Zakir Hussain. Who got Bharat Ratna award becoming the President of India? Dr. Zakir Hussain. Who was first acting President of India? V.V. Giri. Which President of India won his second counting of votes? V.V. Giri. Next. Who was also Chief Justice of India became President? Justice Hidayatullah. Next. Who was the first youngest president of India? Neelam Sanjiba Reddy, 64 years. Who youngest president ଆଗରୁ ଥିଲା but ଏବେ ଆମର ଦ୍ରୌପଦୀ ମୁର୍ମୁ ହେଇଛନ୍ତି. Who was the first unopposed elected president of India? Neelam Sanjiba Reddy. Who was the only Lok Sabha speaker to have become the president of India? Neelam Sanjiba Reddy. Who was the first Sikh president of India? Gyani Jail Singh. Who was the first oldest president of India? R. Venkate Raman. 76 years old. Who was the first scientist to become president of India? Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Next, which president of India has been known as Missile Man of India? APJ Abdul Kalam. Who was the first woman president of India? Pratibha Devi Singh Patil. How many power of the president? 7. Executive power, legislative power, financial power, judicial power, diplomatic power, military power, and emergency power. Next, who were appointed by the President of India? Prime Minister, oath, others minister, Chief Justice and judges of Supreme Court, High Court, Attorney General, CAG, Election Commission, and other member of Election Commission, Governor, Finance Minister, Chairman, member of UPSC, etc. Who can summon or end a session of the Parliament and dissolve the Lok Sabha? President. Who summon a joint sitting of both houses of the Parliament? The President. How many members are nominated by President to Rajya Sabha? 12th member. Name the fields from the which President nominated 12 members to Rajya Sabha. Literature, science, art and social service. Next, who holds the power to nominate from two Anglo-Indian community into Lok Sabha? President. এটা ଏବେ cancel করা দিয়া যাইছি. Next, the presidential ordinance has maximum life of 6 weeks. The President of India can issue an ordinance if Parliament is not in session. A money bill in Parliament can be introduced with the recommendation of President. Next, who can seek advice from the Supreme Court on any question of law or fact? President. Which power of the President sends and receives ambassadors? Diplomatic power. Who was the supreme commander of the armed forces in India? President. Who appoints chief army, navy, air force? President. How many types emergency? 3 types: national, state, financial emergency. Next, which article national emergency declare? Article 352. President declare national emergency only on written request. The council minister headed by the prime minister. The proclamation must be approved by the parliament within 1 month. National emergency in the Republic of India can only be declared by the president. Next, a proclamation of national emergency automatically suspended right to freedom. What fundamental rights does not suspend during the national emergency? Right to life and personal liberty. Next, how many months national emergency can be imposed? 6 months. The maximum period of national emergency of Indian Constitution is 3 years. The national emergency caused by war or external aggression or armed rebellion within country. Next, when a national emergency declare the ground war or external aggression is known as external emergency. Next, when a national emergency is declared, a ground of armed rebellion is known as internal emergency. How many times has national emergency been declared in India so far? 3 times. First emergency declared 1962 due to Chinese aggression. Second emergency was declared in 1971 due to Indo-Pakistan War. Third emergency declared due to internal disturbance 1975. Under which articles constitutional emergency is declared in state in India? Article 356. Constitutional emergency also known as president rule. Next, who has the authority to approve presidential rule in the state parliament? In which state the president rule was first imposed in India? Punjab. Next, which state maximum time president rule is imposed? Punjab. To keep the president rule in the state, it must be extended every 6th month. Financial emergency Republic of India can be declared by the President. Which articles of financial emergency declare? Article 360. After declaration financial emergency by the President, what is the period operation without approval by the Parliament? 2 months. How many times has financial emergency been declared in India so far? Never. In case of financial emergency, the President can reduce the salary of all government officials, including judge of Supreme Court and High Court. What is the meaning of the word veto? Forbid. President of India vested with 3 veto: absolute, suspensive, and pocket veto. Which veto don't granted to President? Qualified veto. Next, the Vice President of India. Which articles Indian Constitution provide for a Vice President of country? Article 63. Rank of does the office Vice President have the country hela? Second. What articles our constitution deals with process of election of Vice President? Article 66. A nomination of a candidates for election to the office of Vice President must be subscribed by at least 20 electors as proposer and 20 electors as seconders. Thus, Vice President of India elected by the elected member of both House of Parliament. What is the minimum age required to be a Vice Presidential candidate? 35 years. Next, a person wanting to contest the election post Vice President must be qualified for election as a member of Rajya Sabha. What is the term of office of Vice President of India? 5 years. The oath of office of the Vice President is administered by whom? President. Who is ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha? Vice President. Next, what is the salary of Vice President of India? Right answer is 3.5 lakhs rupees per month. In case of Vice President wishes to resign, by whom he give resignation letter? The President. Who is the first Vice President of India? Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. Who was the first Vice President to die in office? Kishan Kant. Which of the Vice President India have been elected for the second term? Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan and Mohammad Hamid Ansari. Next, the Prime Minister of India. Who is the real executive authority by de facto executive? The Prime Minister. Who is the headed the Indian Union Government? Prime Minister. The office of the Prime Minister of India has a constitutional basis. The oath of office Prime Minister administered by President. What is the term of office Prime Minister? No fixed. What is the minimum age required to Prime Minister? 25. What is the per month salary Prime Minister of India? Determined by the Parliament. Next. Who was the first Prime Minister of India? Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Which Prime Minister of India died while in office? Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Who was the first acting Prime Minister of India? Gulzarilal Nanda. Which Prime Minister to die abroad during the official tour? Lal Bahadur Shastri. Who was the first woman Prime Minister of India? Indira Gandhi. Next. Which Prime Minister did not face Parliament? Charan Singh. Who was the first oldest Prime Minister of India? Morarji Desai, 81 years. Who was the first Prime Minister of India resigned from office? Morarji Desai. Who was the first youngest Prime Minister of India? Rajiv Gandhi, 40 years. Who was the first Prime Minister from Southern India? P.V. Narasimha Rao. India Look East policy was started by Prime Minister of India P.V. Narasimha Rao. Who was the Prime Minister of India with shortest tenure? Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Who was the first sixth Prime Minister of India? Dr. Manmohan Singh. Who is the chairman of Kendriya Hindi Samiti? Prime Minister. Who can be said to be the leader of Lok Sabha? Prime Minister. Who is the headed the Council Minister? Prime Minister. The President can dismiss a member of the Council Minister on the recommendation of Prime Minister. The President can dissolve the Lok Sabha on advice of Prime Minister. Next. The Council of Ministers of Union collectively responds to the Lok Sabha, to whom the Council of Ministers responsible the President. How many types of ministers? Three types: Cabinet Minister, Minister of State, and Deputy Minister. Cabinet Minister of means minister with cabinet rank. Next. Who is the highest civil servant Union government? Cabinet Secretary. Union Cabinet is personally responsible to the President. In case of Prime Minister death, resignation, or removal, automatically dissolve the Council of Ministers. Who was the first Deputy Prime Minister of India? Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Next. Parliament. Parliament of India composed of President, Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha. Who designed the Indian Parliament in New Delhi? Edwins and Lytton. Age of the candidate contest Parliament elections should not be lesser than 25. How many houses in Indian Parliament? Two houses. Parliament or state legislature can declare a seat vacant of member absent himself without permission from the session for 60 days. Rajya Sabha. In Parliament, Indian upper houses known as Rajya Sabha or Council of State. Next, the Rajya Sabha are elected member of the Legislative Assembly. What is the minimum age required to be a member of Rajya Sabha? 30 years. The members of Rajya Sabha hold office for a term of 6 years. The maximum strength of Rajya Sabha is 250. At present strength of Rajya Sabha 245. Total elected member of Rajya Sabha 238. How many members retire Rajya Sabha every 2 years? 1/3. Rajya Sabha can to dissolve it is in permanent house. A money bill passed by the Lok Sabha to Rajya Sabha within 14 days. The minimum number of members must be present to hold the meeting of Rajya Sabha is one tenth of the total membership. Next. Rajya Sabha enjoy more power than the Lok Sabha in the case of passing of money bills, setting up a new All India service. Who is the chairman of Rajya Sabha? The Vice President. Who was the first chairman of Rajya Sabha? Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. Largest number of seats in Rajya Sabha has been allocated for Uttar Pradesh 31. How many seats are reserved for state of Odisha Rajya Sabha? 10th seat. Union territory have represented in the Rajya Sabha, Delhi and Puducherry. Next, total number of seats reserved SC/ST on Rajya Sabha, no reserve. Next, Lok Sabha. In Parliament in Indian lower house is known as Lok Sabha, House of the People. The minimum age required to become a member in Lok Sabha is 25 years. The member of Lok Sabha holds office for a term of 5 years. Next, the maximum strength of Lok Sabha is 252, 530 member state, 20 member union territories and 2 members Anglo-Indian. ତାହାକୁ ଏବେ ଡିଜଲ୍ଭ କରାଦିଆଯାଇଛି. Next, at present strength of Lok Sabha 545. The member of Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people. Which Sabha is more powerful? Lok Sabha. Union budget is allowed present first in Lok Sabha. The minimum number of members that must be present to hold the meeting of Lok Sabha is 1/10 of the total membership. Next, which of the largest Lok Sabha constituency area-wise? Ladakh. Largest number of seats in Lok Sabha has been allocated for Uttar Pradesh 18. How many seats are reserved for the state of Odisha in the Lok Sabha? 21. What is the total number of seats reserved in SC/ST on Lok Sabha? 84 and 47. Which Indian state has the largest number of seats reserved for scheduled tribes in Lok Sabha? Madhya Pradesh. Next, Speaker of Lok Sabha. Who is the chairman of Lok Sabha? Speaker. Who choose the Speaker of Lok Sabha? The member of Lok Sabha. Who provide over sitting in Parliament? Speaker. Who preside over joint sitting in Parliament? Speaker. Joint sitting of two houses of Parliament are held in consider and pass a bill on which two houses disagree. Next, the first joint meeting both houses of Indian Parliament was held in connection with dowry prohibition bill. How many times joint sitting so far in history of India? 3 times. गोटे है 1960 रे 1997 रे आउ 2002 रे हेथिला. Who decide whether bill is a money bill or not? Speaker of Lok Sabha. Speaker has no right to vote but when should casting vote in case of tie, deadlock hell. The Speaker of Lok Sabha can be removed by majority of the member of Lok Sabha. Which period did down the constitution before the proposal for removal of Speaker and Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha can be taken out by resolution in the Lok Sabha? 14 days. The Speaker of Lok Sabha address his letter of resignation to Deputy Speaker. Who decision in all parliamentary matters in final? The Speaker of Lok Sabha. Who was the first Speaker of Lok Sabha? G.V. Malavankar. The first female Speaker of Lok Sabha is Meera Kumar. Who was the first Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha? Ananthos Sayanam Iyer. Next, session of Parliament. How many sessions held in the year Lok Sabha? 3 sessions. Budget February to May, monsoon July to August, winter है November December. The largest session of Lok Sabha, budget session. Next, the shortest Session of Lok Sabha, winter session. What is the maximum gap between the two sessions? 6 months. The Lok Sabha is called session for at least how many times in a year? Thrice a year. What is the meaning of lame duck session of parliament? The last session of the parliament before dissolution of Lok Sabha. Next. Stages of bills. How many types of bills? 4 bills. Ordinary bills, money bills, financial and constitutional amendment bills. In which bills cannot be introduced in Rajya Sabha? Money bills and financial bill. Every ordinary bill has to pass thought how many stage? 5 stage. Next. How many times can be the President of India return a non-money bills passed by Parliament? Thrice. In the parliament, every bill has to pass thought which state of regarding before it becomes the first reading, second reading and third reading, by which bill government purpose the collection of revenue for a year. Finance bill are normally introduced in parliament soon after lunch break. Next, Lokpal and Lokayut. Who coined term Lokpal? Late Mr. L.M. Singhvi in 1963. First Lokpal bill was introduced by Shanti Bhushan 1968. The John Lokpal bill is also known as Citizen Ombudsman bill. How many times Lokpal bill has been introduced in Parliament? 11 times. Next, anti-corruption institutions established at the center and state level are respectively known as Lokpal and Lokayut. How many members are in Lokpal? 8 members. The terms of office for Lokpal chairman is 5 years or till at an age of 70. Next, committee system. Committee are classified under how many heads? 2 heads, standing committee and ad hoc committee. Which committee are created a temporary period? Ad hoc committee. The Public Account Committee was set up in 1921. At present, how many members Public Account Committee? 22 members. 15th from Lok Sabha, 7th from Rajya Sabha. Next, Estimate Committee was set up in 1950. How many members Estimate Committee? 30 members. Only members of Lok Sabha. Which is the largest committee? Estimate Committee. The Committee in Public Undertaking was created in 1964 on the recommendation of the Krishna Menon Committee. Next, the Standing Committee was set up in 2004. How many Standing Committee are there in Lok Sabha? 24. Who was the ex officio chairman of the committee? Speaker. Next, some parliamentary terms. The first hours every sitting both houses is called question hour, 11 to 12 pm. What could be the maximum time limit of 0 hours in the Lok Sabha? 1 hours, 12 to 1 pm. 0 hours in political jargon refers to question answer session. What is 0 hour? Interval between the morning and afternoon session. Next, Supreme Court of India. Which article established in Constitution of Supreme Court of India? Article 124. The Supreme Court of India, the member of judges including Chief Justice now 31 34 ହେଇଗଲାଣି 33 plus 1 Chief Justice of India ଆଉ 33 ଅଛନ୍ other judges. The dispute regarding the election of President and Vice President of India are decided by the Supreme Court of India. Next, by whom the Chief Justice and other judges of Supreme Court are appointed? President. Acting Chief Justice of Supreme Court in India is appointed by President. The Constitution of India makes provision to become judge of Supreme Court if she has practiced as a advocate in High Court for a minimum period of 10 years. Next. Next. Constitution of India makes provision for a becoming judge or Supreme Court if he or she has judged in High Court for a minimum period of 5 years. What is the minimum age required to be a Chief Justice of the Supreme Court candidates? No, not fixed. The judge of Supreme Court of India retire at the age of 65. Next. In case of Chief Justice of Supreme Court wishes to resign, to whom he or she to address his resignation letter, the President. On which ground can judge of Supreme Court be impeached? Misbehavior or incapacity. Judge of Supreme Court can be removed from office during his tenure, the President, on the basis of a resolution passed by Parliament by two-third majority. Next, which judge of Supreme Court first faced such cases impeachment but unsuccessfully? Justice V. Ramaswamy. Next, which judge of Supreme Court resigned before impeachment? Justice Dinakaran. What is the monthly salary of Chief Justice of Supreme Court? 2.8 lakhs rupees per month. What is the monthly salary of other judges of Supreme Court of India? 2.5 lakhs rupees per month. How many types of writs can be issued by Supreme Court of India? 5 types. 5 प्रकार. Sorry, what did the Goloknath case happen? 1900. When did Goloknath case happen? 1967. When the bank nationalization case was happened? 1970. When did Kesavnath Bharati case happen? 1973. When did Minerva Mills case happen? 1980. The first Chief Justice of Supreme Court है Hiralal J. Kanya. First woman Chief Justice of Supreme Court, no field Chief Justice yet. First woman judge in Supreme Court, Fatima Bibi. Which of the court responsible for the enforcement of fundamental rights? Supreme Court. Next, public interesting litigation PIL may be linked with judicial activism. Next, who was the Chief Justice of India when public interest litigation PIL was introduced to the Indian judicial system? P.N. Bhagwati. Constitutional bench consisting of at least how many judges? 5 judges constituted by the Chief Justice. Who holds the power increase the number of judges in the Supreme Court? Parliament of India. Dispute between state of Indian come to Supreme Court under original jurisdiction. Next, which court in India known as the Court of Records? Supreme Court. What is meant by court records? All courts that preserve all its records. Next, the Governor. Part V of Constitution of India deals with Governor of State level, Article 152 to 237. Who is the executive head of state of government? The Governor. The Governor is appointed by President. What is the minimum age required to be a Governor? 35. Which is official residence of Governor of State? Raj Bhavan. Next, salary and allowances of the governor are charged to consolidated fund of the state. Oath of office of the governor is administered by whom? Chief Justice of High Court. Who is administered the oath of office to governor in case of Chief Justice is absent? Senior most judge of the High Court. Next, in case of governor wishes to resign, who is he address resignation letter? President. Next, what is the term of office of governor of state? 5 years. Next, who are appointed by the governor of state? Chief Minister, Advocate General of a state, State Election Commission, judges of district court, chairman and service commission, vice chancellor or VC of university. Now, who can send a message and all summering, proroguing and dissolve the state assembly, the governor, without whom recommendation money bill can be introduced in state assembly, the governor. An ordinance issued by governor has to be passed by the assembly within 6 weeks. Who was the first woman governor of state in free India? Sarojini Naidu. Who was the first governor in Odisha? John Austin Hobart. Next, Chief Minister. Who is the real executive head of state of government? The Chief Minister. Chief Minister appointed by the governor. The oath of office to Chief Minister is administered by whom? The governor. What is the term of office in Chief Minister? Not fixed. Chief Minister and other minister in a state get salary as determined by state legislative assembly. Who was the head of council of minister in state? The Chief Minister. Who is the longest serving Chief Minister in India? Chamling. Who was the first woman Chief Minister in India? Sucheta Kripalini, Uttar Pradesh. Who was the first Chief Minister of Odisha? Hare Krishna Mahata. Next, state legislature. What does bicameral bicameral legislature means? Legislature are divided into two separate assemblies. How many state bicameralism system? 7th state. Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Jammu Kashmir थिला एटा कर्नाटक, महाराष्ट्र, उत्तर प्रदेश एंड तेलंगाना. 6 state have it. 7th legislature can declare a seat. 7th ही हम बट तमिलनाडु भी अच्छी में भी ठीक है. देखिए legislature can declare a seat vacant of member absent himself without permission from the session of 60 days. Next, legislative council. The state legislative council is known as Vidhan Parishad or upper houses. The number of seat Vidhan Parishad is to be not more than 1/3 of the membership of legislative assembly and not less than 40. Next, Legislative Council of India is same as Rajya Sabha. The member of state legislative council are elected for period of 6 years. The minimum age of legislative council was 30 years. How many members are nominated for governor to legislative council? 1/6 member. The member of legislative council nominated by the governor shall have special knowledge and practical experience in respect of such a matter as literature, science, arts, cooperative movement and social service. How many members of legislative council indirectly elected? 5th by 6th of total number of members. Next, who was the presiding officer of the state legislative council? Chairman, deputy chairman in the legislative council. Next, the chairman of legislative council address his letter to resignation to deputy chairman in the legislative council. The chairman of legislative council can be removed by majority of the member of legislative council. The period of legislative council to detain the ordinary bills within 3 months. The legislative assembly is known as Vidhan Sabha by lower house. Next, the legislative assembly member elected by directly elected by the people. The number of seat Vidhan Parishad is to be not more than 500 and not less than 60. Next, Legislative Assembly. Union Legislative Assembly, same as Lok Sabha. The member of Legislative Assembly are elected for 5 years period. What is the minimum age of Legislative Assembly? 25 years. Who was the presiding officer State Legislative Assembly? Speaker, Deputy Speaker in Legislative Assembly. Next, who choose the Speaker of Legislative Assembly? Right answer is the member of Legislative Assembly. The Speaker of Legislative Assembly address his letter resignation to Deputy Speaker of Legislative Assembly. Next, the Speaker of Legislative Assembly can be removed by majority of the member of Legislative Assembly. The Speaker of Legislative Assembly has no right to vote except in case of tie. The total number of seat Vidhan Parishad in Odisha 147. The largest number of seat Vidhan Parishad Uttar Pradesh 403 403. First woman Speaker of Legislative Assembly Sano Devi. High Court. What is the total number of High Court in India present? 24. 24 ना 25 एटा टिके आपण माने कमेंट सेक्शन रे कहंतु. At where the High Court of India first started? Bombay, Madras, Kolkata. Oldest High Court of India, Kolkata High Court. Which of the High Court has largest number of bench? Guwahati High Court. Which High Court has the first time India declared bond as illegal? Kerala High Court. Second largest judicial complex in world hella Madras High Court. Which High Court has the territorial jurisdiction over Andaman and Nicobar Island? Kolkata High Court. Which is the only union territory that has High Court of its own? Delhi. In which state union territory have common High Court? Punjab, Haryana and Chandigarh. A common high court for two or more state union territory may be established by parliament by law. Which high court, Kolkata, Madras, Bombay, were established under the Indian High Court Act 1861? The High Court, Kolkata, Madras, Bombay were established in 1862. The Chief Justice and other judges of High Courts are appointed by President. Next, by whom oath High Court judges administer? Governor. Next, the Constitution of India makes provision to become judge of High Court if he or she was participate as the advocate in High Court for a minimum period of 10 years. What is the age of retirement judges of High Court? 62. Who described the number of judges in High Court? President. The High Court judges address his letter or resignation to President. Next, on which ground can a judge of High Court be impeached? Misbehavior and incapacity. The temporary judges of High Court can be hold office for more than 2 years. After retirement, a judge of High Court can undertake practice in any other court except the same court. What is the monthly salary Chief Justice of High Court? 2.5 lakhs rupees per month. What is the monthly salary of other judges of High Court? 2.25 lakhs per month. The salary of judges High Court are paid from the consolidated fund of state. The Mobile Court India is brain child of Justice Bhagwati. Next, first woman Chief Justice of High Court Leela Seth. First woman Judge of High Court Anna Chendi. Which High Court India opened first e-court country? Hyderabad. India first mobile court was introduced in Haryana. Next, judges and magistrate of civil court are appointed by governor. Next, the headquarters of International Court of Justice ICJ are at The Hague, Netherlands. The judges of International Court of Justice are elected by the UN General Assembly and UN Security Council both. Union and state relation. Largest Union territory of India, Puducherry বা Pondicherry, which Amendment Act Delhi was given status of National Capital Territory of India. 69 Amendment Act. India is federal state because its constitution provides for sharing power between state and center. Next, how many subjects are in list union list? 100 subjects. How many subjects are there in state list? 61 subjects. Concurrent list 52 subjects. Next, residuary powers means the power not included in any of three lists. In India, residuary powers governance belongs to central government. Next, Lok Adalat. Where the Lok Adalat first held? Chennai 1986. The president presided of Lok Adalat ହେଲା retired judicial officer as chairman. Two others member of Lok Adalat ହେଲା a lawyer and a social worker. For what Lok Adalat every effectives? Money claims, dispute, damage, matrimonial case. Next, Zonal Council. How many zonal council are established to discuss and advise on matters of common interest? 6 zonal councils. The zonal council discuss matters relating interstate transport, border dispute, economic and social planning. Next, Commission. Punchi Commission was set up in April 2007. Who headed Punchi Commission? Justice Madan Mohan Punchi. Interstate Council has been set up under Article 263. Sarkaria Commission set up in June 1983. Who headed Sarkaria Commission? Justice Rajendra Singh Sarkaria. Sarkaria Commission set up reviewing the relationship between center-state relationship. Next, special status of Jammu Kashmir. Which article was scrapped by Parliament recently? Article 370. Which article got revoked alongside Article 370? Article 35A. Which is the new territory without legislature? Ladakh. Jammu and Kashmir had total how many assembly seats before 5 August 2019? 87. Next, Panchayati Raj. Father of local self-government of India is Lord Ripon. Next, which commission has passed all recommendations 3-tier Panchayati Raj in India? 1957. Balwant Rai Mehta. Next, Balwant Rai Mehta committee suggested that the structure of Panchayati Raj should consist of the village, the block and the district level. When the Panchayati Raj system was introduced in India? 2nd October 1959, Rajasthan, Nagpur district. The Panchayati Raj system was first started in India in the state of Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh. The committee appointed 1977 to review working of the Panchayati Raj was chaired by Ashok Mehta. Next, the 73rd Amendment of the Indian Constitution deals with Panchayati Raj. Part IX माने 9 of the Constitution deals with Panchayati Raj. Panchayati Raj system in India laid down under directive principle of state. The election of Panchayati Raj are to be held after every 5 years. Next, a person to be qualified for standing in a Panchayat election must have attained age of 21. Next, special representation of Panchayati Raj institution is given to women, cooperative society, SC, ST and backward classes. Next, how many seats are reserved for women in Panchayat Raj, 1/3 seat. If a panchayati is dissolved, elections are to be held within 6 months. Three-tier system of Panchayat Raj consists of Gram Panchayat, Panchayat Samiti and Jilla Parishad. Next, the Panchayat Raj institution at the village level is known as Gram Panchayat. What is the first unit of three-tier Panchayat Raj system? Gram Panchayat. Next, the chairman of Gram Panchayat is called Sarpanch. The Panchayat Raj institution at block level is known as Panchayat Samiti. What is the middle unit in the three-tier Panchayat Raj system? Panchayat Samiti. The chairman of Panchayat Samiti is called Pradhan. The Panchayat Raj institution of the district level is known as Jilla Parishad. Next, what is the apex of three-tier system Panchayat Raj? Jilla Parishad. Next, who conduct the election? Panchayat Raj and municipality, State Election Commission. Next, municipalities. 74 amendment of Indian Constitution deals with municipality. Part 9A Constitution deals with municipality. Where was the first municipal corporation of India set up? Madras. Special representation in municipality institution is given to women cooperative society, SC, ST and backward classes. Next, how many seats reserved for women in municipality? 1/3 seat. Next, which three types municipality are provided by constitution? Nagar Panchayat, municipal council, municipal corporation. Which municipality provide for area in transition from rural and urban? Nagar Panchayat. Which municipality provide for smaller urban area? Municipal council. Which municipality provide a large urban area? Municipal corporation. Who is the chief executive head of municipal corporation? Commissioner. Who is the executive head of municipal corporation? Mayor. The mayor to be municipal corporation is elected by elected council from the amongst themselves. A municipal corporation is set up in cities with a population of not or less than 10 lakhs. Next, official language. Part 7th of Constitution deals with official language. 17th, Part 17th. How many official languages have been recognized in India Constitution? 22. Hindi written which script? Devanagari script. Which language is official language of India? Hindi. Next, which language is proceeding Supreme Court in every High Court? English. Which of the state has English as its official language? Nagaland. Which of state use Urdu as its official language? Jammu Kashmir. Next, how many classical language have been recognized in Indian Constitution? 6. Tamil hela 2004, Sanskrit hela 2005, Telugu hela 2008, Kannada hela 2008, Malayalam hela 2013, Odia hela 2014. Controller and Auditor General of India hela who is the guardian of the public purse? Controller and Auditor General. The CAG of Indian Act Chief Accounts and Auditor for the Union and State Government. Next, the Controller and Auditor General of India appointed by President. The term of Controller and Auditor General are 6 years. What is the per month salary Controller and Auditor General? Determined by Parliament. On which ground can a Controller and Auditor General be impeached? Misbehavior and incapacity. Next, the Controller and Auditor General are appointed for removed by the President. The Controller and Auditor General of India retired age of 65. Who was the first Controller and Auditor General of India? Sri V. Narahari Rao. Attorney General of India. Who is the first law officer of Government of India? Attorney General. Who is the second law officer of Government of India? Solicitor General of India. The Attorney General of India appointed by President. The Attorney General hela not fixed. What is the per month salary of Attorney General of India determined by the Parliament? Which non-member can participate in the business of either House of Parliament? Attorney General of India. Who advised the Government of India legal matter? Attorney General of India. Who was the first Attorney General of India? Mr. M.C. Setalvad. Who is the highest law officer of the state? Advocate General. Who appoint the Advocate General? General Governor of State. Who advise state government on legal matter? Advocate General. Next, Election Commission of India. Election Commission consists of Chief Election Commission, two Election Commissioner. Two the Election Commissioner appointed by the President, under whose advice President of India appoint Regional Election Commissioner. Election Commissioner. The term of Election Commissioner was 6th year. The Chief Election Commissioner of India retired the age of 65. The Chief Election Commissioner can be removed from his office in the same manner and the same grounds are a judge of Supreme Court. What organized the election commissioner? Polling booth, counting of votes, declaration of result. Next. Who was the first chief election commissioner of India? Sukumar Sen. When the when the national e-governance plans was approved by the cabinet, May 2005. E-government means electronic government. How many types of e-government are possible? 5 times. Next, Finance Commission of India hela. Finance Commission consists of chairman and 4 members. Who appoint the Finance Commission of chairman? The President. The terms of Finance Commissioner hela 5. The primary function of the Finance Commission in India hela is to hela distribute revenue between the center and state. Next, what is the chairman of first Finance Commission? K.C. Nyogi. Who is the chairman of 12th Finance Commission? C. Rangarajan. Who is the chairman of 13th Finance Commission? Vijay L. Kelkar. Who is the chairman of 14th Finance Commission? B. Venugopal Reddy. ଆଉ 15th फाइनान्स कमिशन है किए होमवर्क कहतु आ 16 फाइनान्स कमिशन किए कहते मुझे 16टा कही 16 और 15 होमवर्कटा आपण मैंने कहतु यूनियन पब्लिक सर्विस यूपीएससी चेयरमैन ऑफ मेंबर ऑफ यूपीएससी अपॉइंटेड बाय द प्रेसिडेंट चेयरमैन एंड मेंबर ऑफ यूपीएससी होल्ड ऑफिस टर्म्स ऑफ 6 years. The UPSC member of India retired age of 65. The annual report of the UPSC submitted to the President. The member of UPSC can be removed from the office before the expiry of the terms by President on recommendation of Supreme Court. What is the maximum age limit appearing in Indian civil service? You are 32 6 times, OBC 35 9 times attempts, SC ST 37 as many up to age limit. Next, Right to Information Act RTI. Right to Information Act in India came fully into force in October 12, 2015. What is the time limit to get information? RTI Act 2005 30 days. The National Human Rights Commission is formed in the year 1993. Next, the National Human Rights Commission is a autonomous public body. Who can be chairperson of National Human Rights Commission? Chief Justice of Supreme Court. To be recognized as national party, a political party must or recognized in a minimum of 4 states. Next, Constitutional Amendment. The most Controversial amendment passed during the emergency was 42nd Amendment, by which constitutional amendment was the voting age reduced from 21 to 18 years for Lok Sabha and Assembly. 61 Amendment Act 1989. The 79th Amendment of Indian Constitution related to reservation SC/ST in Lok Sabha and State Assembly. Next, by which amendment primary education added list of fundamental rights. 93rd Amendment 2005, by which amendment act substitute Odia for Oriya. 96th Amendment Act 2011. Next, national insignia of India. National emblem of India is Ashok Stamp. National emblem of India has been adopted for lion capital of Ashok at Sarnath. The emblem of Ashoka Chakra standing from Ashoka pillar. The other's name of Ashoka Chakra is Dharma Chakra. In the right side of Dharma Chakra there is a bull. Next, the left side of Dharma Chakra there is a horse. How many animals Indian national emblem? 4 animals. The words Satyameb Jayadev are inscribed from bottom of the emblem in the Devanagari script. The meaning of the Satyameb Jayadev is truth alone triumphs. The word Satyameb Jayadev is taken from Mundaka Upanishad. How many lions in Indian national emblems? 4 lions. How many lions visible Indian national emblems? 3 lions. The national flag of India is Triranga. The national flag is a horizontal tricolor of saffron at the top, white in the middle and green at the bottom. National flag India was adopted by the Constituent Assembly 22 July 1947. National flag length है 3:2 length and breadth. Next, the color of wheel national flag है navy blue. How many spokes are there? Color of wheel है navy blue. And how many spokes are there? Wheel of national flag है 24 spokes. Saffron color indicates courage, sacrifice and renunciation. White color indicates truth and purity. Green color indicates life, abundance and prosperity. Next, which cloth is used in national flag? Khadi. National flag day observed on 7th December. Indian national flag song of India is हिंद देश का प्यारा झंडा. Who designed national flag independence in India? Pingali Venkaiah, Andhra Pradesh. Flag code of India 2002. National anthem of India Jana Gana Mana. National anthem was composed by Rabindranath Tagore. National anthem was originally composed in Bengali language. National anthem of India adopted by the Constituent Assembly 24 January 1950. Indian national anthem belongs to the book Gitanjali. The national anthem was first sung at place of the and the year of Kolkata 27th December 1911. Next, to praying time of full version of national anthem is approximately 52 seconds. Which year song Jana Gana Mana was published? January 1912. The title of national anthem है टाइटल ऑफ नेशनल एंथम है भारत विधाता. Next, Indian national anthem was translated in English by Rabindranath Tagore 1919 under title Morning Song of India. How many rivers mentioned in national anthem? 2. How many states mentioned in national anthem? 7. National anthem full version how many times repeat Jaya Hai is 6 times. National anthem full version how many times repeat Jaya 10th time. National song of India is Bande Mataram. National song composed by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee in Sanskrit language. National song of India adopted by Constituent Assembly at 24th January 1915. National song belongs to the book Anandamot, in which date song Mataram was published 1882. Indian national song was translated English rendered by Sri Aurobindo. Tiger adopted national animal in year 1972. National bird of India is peacock. Peacock adopted national bird in year 1972. National fruit in India is mango. National tree in India is banyan tree ba borgot. National sports of India है हॉकी. इटा कन्फर्म नुह. Next, name of our national calendar है Sakaira. National calendar established in 78 era. National calendar was adopted on 22 March 1957. National calendar was made by Conisco. First month of national calendar है Chaitra. Last month of national calendar है Phalguna. National flower of India is lotus. National river of India is Ganga. The Indian national official book used white paper. Indian national currency symbol rupee. Indian national aquatic animal river dolphin. Next, the Indian national heritage animal है elephant. Father of nation है Mahatma Gandhi. The Indian national festival है Republic Day 26 January, Independence Day 15 August and Gandhi Jayanti 2nd October. Officially, Indian Republic Day celebrate continue for a duration of 3 days. ଏତିକିରେ ପଲିଟିକାଲ ସାଇନ୍ସ ସରିଲା. ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ ସୋ ମଚ୍.